There's an old man who's late now, unfortunately. And some of us might have heard of him. Lawrence van der Post died in London some years back. At a time when we're mobilizing people to support the struggle for liberation here, we saw him, Lawrence van der Post, in London with our former Deputy Minister, Aziz Bahand. And he told us a very interesting story. And he said when he attended school, some school, during his schooling years in Natal, in what was Natal, and he played hockey, school hockey. Then one year there was a school's competition here in Pretoria, and he came to lead his team. Now he says that he comes from the Free State, originally born there. So he says, being at school in Natal then, the problem, he said, one of the problems there was that they didn't have cook sisters in Natal, because these are English-speaking people. They had no cook sisters. So he says, now being in Pretoria, this was one of my great ambitions, to have a cook sister. So when they were not playing, he went to a restaurant here in Pretoria, midday. And he says, so he got there and he ordered his cook sisters and so on. And it was him and a woman who was serving, a white restaurant as the situation was then. And he says as he had his back to the counter. Then he had some people coming in, but didn't look, and until a commotion started. So he turned and then looked, and he says there were two Chinese-looking men were wearing khaki dust coats, and this white woman was refusing to serve them. And so he says, he took offense to this, so he speaks to her, and they speak in Afrikaans, and says, no, but can't you see these are visitors? How can you say you can't serve them? So indeed they got served. And then they thank him and so on, and everybody goes away. Then he says, some many months later, so he's back in Durban. He gets a letter, a ship docks in Durban. And he gets a letter from the captain of the ship. And the captain of the ship says, please, can you come? I'd like to see you. So Lawrence van der Post says, indeed, he went on board the ship.